Hello and welcome back to the Luxe Leap. We are so happy to have you, and I am incredibly excited for this next guest. She is absolutely brilliant, and her name is Erin Hines. She is the darn good business coach, and she believes in holistic business. And in her coaching, she really wants to take care of both your business as well as the person behind it, because you're just as important to making it go full circle, round and round, and you have to take care of both. So Erin, welcome.
Hello, I'm really excited for this conversation today.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be amazing. So we're going to kick it off like we usually kick off everyone's conversations. And we want to know, all the people listening, is what inspired you to start your brand? Just give us the brief Reader's Digest version of your company story.
For me, I think it's funny, like now you look back and you see how it all like stacked on top of each other. But like when you're in the moment, for me, it was like, I kept having these feelings of like, is this what I want to do? Like I kept questioning myself. Is like, I went to college, I did all the things you're supposed to do. It's like, is this what the path for me? Like, do I really have to do this for another like 30, 40 years? Like I kept having these thoughts, and I eventually just got like, so like curious, like, where is this going? And I started just like a deep journey into understanding myself. Like, actually, what do I want? How do I want my life to look? And I was working with a coach, and I just really loved her lifestyle and like just a little more freedom to enjoy life outside of work. So I decided, I always had kind of like an inkling, like one day I want to start a business. So like, why not now? And so that kind of led me down this path. Like I started just doing business strategy. I was a business architect, so I brought a lot of that knowledge over into my business coaching, and it just felt like so good what I was doing now and helping people. But like the key to why I started this was just like, I feel like there's so many of us like just kind of going through life, doing what we think we should be doing. We're like never actually pausing and going, is this what I want to do? Like, does this align with how I envision my life? And so my goal was like, my business coaching was going to then help people like get really clear and devote themselves to what they want to do, because we all want to just live lives that we're excited about. And so that's kind of how I got down this path of creating just not the business strategy in my coaching, but also bringing in like more of a holistic, like, who are you as a person? And helping you design your career and your business around who you are, and actually showing the world who you are, so you could just live with more authenticity and excitement every day.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I feel like I speak a lot about authenticity and why it's so important to just show up as your full self. And it's not easy. And you said it so kindly. I usually say, stop acting like sheep and just doing what you're told to do, because sometimes we have to question that and really live life to purpose. Erin, I didn't share this with you before we hopped on here, but today my sweet little son had an assembly at school, and the assembly was on how they are learning about self-awareness. And he won an award for being very good at being self-aware, that's a big award for 8. And the next thing they're learning in the note of self-awareness is purpose. Like, what is your purpose? And to watch a bunch of 8 and 7-year-olds try to explain what their purpose is really cute. But at the same time, you become 28, 38, 48, and another number with 8 here. And I don't know that many of us adults can even answer, like, what is your purpose? So the work you're doing is so incredible, because if more of us lived in our purpose, how would the world change? What would the world look like?
Exactly. Yes.
So deep thoughts on a Wednesday morning. So what was a pivotal moment in your brand's journey that really defined where you are today?
I think it's just, first of all, like just having that curiosity and not shaming myself, because I think it's very easy, and especially starting your business, it's just like the focus is so much on you. Like I just kept approaching everything with curiosity. And I was in a pivotal moment was I was in a networking event, a virtual one, and someone brought up human design. And I was like, I had no clue what they're talking about. I felt very lost in the conversation. But like afterwards, I dug into like, okay, what is this? Because they were like super excited about it. And so I dug into human design. And I think that was the most life-changing thing, because it is somewhat of a personality test, but I've never taken a personality test that I felt so validated. Like, this is who I am. Like, there's nothing wrong with me. And this is the path I'm supposed to be on. And it just taught me so much about myself that felt so like nourishing. And like, again, like talk about your purpose. It's like, okay, it put words to some of the things I didn't have words for. And so it helped me put words to like my purpose and like what I'm here to do. And I think it was just so life-changing. Just, I know validation isn't necessarily a great, like it could be interpreted the wrong way, but this, like sometimes you just need a little validation to like, okay, I'm okay. Like just keep going. This is
I'm
right.
on the right
Like,
path.
yes, exactly. And so it just like was life-changing for me. But then I started bringing it into work with my clients to really just help them better understand themselves. And I think that's just how my coaching really evolved to be more like holistic and make sure like you're really clear on what, like who you are, what you want, and have those words to it. Like, because there's a lot of, I think, things that we know about ourselves, but we might have forgotten, or we just don't, it's just like, that's who I am. Like you see stuff in me that I don't see in myself. And being able to put words to that just really helps you build your confidence. So you could get out there and just make a bigger impact in the world and whatever you're trying to do.
Oh my goodness. I too love my human design. I think it
Mm-hmm.
is incredible. It has helped me a lot. It's also
Mm-hmm.
helped me as a parent because I pulled my sons,
Mm-hmm.
which turns out we're very similar, except one of us is a non-emotional and one of us is emotional, and I'm not the emotional one. So it's, those things come up, but I'm curious. We can share our human design traits right here, right now. What is yours? And what does that mean?
Yes. So I'm an emotional generator with a 4-6 profile. That's the highlights of it. So being a generator, I have endless energy to do things, but I also have to make sure it's things that light me up. And that's the key, because I look back, it's like, okay, that job where I was burning out or I just like felt drained all the time, it was because I wasn't doing something that I was actually excited about. So, as a business owner and just helping other leaders, like I really make sure everything I'm doing actually like excites me in the day to day. So then I don't burn out. But then being an emotional generator, it means that I just need to make sure that, like when I make decisions, it's how I make decisions. So I need to make sure when I'm making decisions, I'm not like an emotional high or emotional low. I just need to like, oh, well, like, give me a couple hours to decide. Like, I'll tell you tomorrow, just to like sleep on it, make sure that my emotional wave is just more neutral.
Mm-hmm.
And then my 4-6 profile just kind of tells me how I'm here to show up in the world. So 4 is an opportunist. So I get a lot of my opportunities from the people I know. And then the 6 in the profile is that I'm a role model. So just really showing up and being myself and showing the world a new way of living, and which I think kind of perfectly aligns what I'm trying to do with my business. So it's just all like fit together. I'm like, okay, I'm on the right path.
these are those puzzle pieces. They make sense.
Yes. Yeah.
I am a mental projector, and I'm non-emotional, as stated before. And I'm a 6-2, so also the role model, but I never remember what. Oh, and I'm a natural. I'm naturally good at things.
Mm-hmm.
So as a projector, I actually struggle with knowing that what I'm doing is good. So people will tell me like, Raylan, you're so good at this. You're so good at this. And I'm like, but am I though? Because I can't see it, because I'm projecting everything out versus like taking it in. And so being a mental projector means everything's in my head. Things come to me way too easy. And I shouldn't frame it that way. It's fine that things come easy to me. That's what makes me superhuman. And it's just a very interesting way of looking at that, because I'm always questioning myself and everybody around me is like, you're great. And I'm like, yeah, but why? But why? But why? And I'm always taking in people's emotions. So my sweet significant other is also non-emotional. So people always think it's odd that we don't fight, but we're like, because in the house, everything's very neutral, unless Grayson comes in and has big emotions. And we're like, how do we handle this? So it's been very interesting, and it's actually made me, when you're natural at things and you live in a world where everybody wants like constant credibility, or like, how do you know that? It makes you start to question and doubt yourself, but to hear and see that is fine, that my brain's just firing really fast, made me actually more confident I'll say as a business owner, it made me more confident that when I do strategy for folks, when I do brand strategy, like my gut instinct and like what's happening in my brain should be trusted. And I shouldn't always question that. And every time I've questioned it is every time something's gone wrong. So life lessons from my
Yes.
human design.
No, because I love that, because I think that like what human design is based on is the science of differentiation. It's like we're all different. We can't all be the same. And so if we start embracing these differences, we start living of who we are. And I think everything would be just easier for everyone versus trying to push up and try to be like that square block going into like a round hole, versus just be our unique shape and like who we are. And the world could just be like an amazing place.
I love it. And then
Yeah.
for everybody, if you can hear this in the background, apparently today was the day they were going to come do landscaping, and they're right outside my window. So if you can hear that, I'm sorry, but I will mute when Erin is talking to be kind in this moment. But yeah, I love that it being pigeonholed, and I mean, even in the way that we're taught in school, we're all expected to learn the same way, and we just simply don't. That's what it means to be different and really move forward. And so I love that you do that for business owners. I love that you help them understand who they are and what their purpose is and how to move forward in a world where, let's be real, we're all told a certain way is the right way. And that's just not the case. So slightly switching gears, but not really, because I have a feeling we're just going to keep circling back to this. What was it like signing your first champagne client, your dream client who not only paid your prices that you wanted, but was a super dream to work with?
Wow. You know, it's one of those moments, like, I for me in my journey, like, I always made sure, like, I think with knowing human design and like making sure I was aligned and taking on the right clients and saying, like, standing my ground, knowing my worth and all that. So, like, it's always nerve-wracking, especially it's like, okay, I think I'm, like, my services are like this price, but how are other people going to react? And it's like, if you're not seeing traction right away, it's like all those like feelings, there's so many feelings. And so like but I made sure to like keep from a grounded place. And so when I signed that first class, like it was almost, I think it was the weirdest thing, because I did my first in-person like talk. It was only like a 15-minute like little like lunch and learn type thing, and someone in the audience just like resonated with what I said. I wasn't even trying to sell anything. I was just like teaching a little about human design, a little about me, and something I said resonated, and she's like, I want to work with you, like it's fate. And it was like, wow. And like I told her my price, and she's like, okay, I'll make it work. And like it was just like, wow, how was that easy? It's not supposed to be easy. Like I know, like I have worked hard, and like I know I laid the groundwork for everything, but like it was just so weird, just taking the pressure off, just like being myself. I didn't have any expectations to make a sale or anything. I was just spreading my knowledge, and like someone actually wanted to work with me with like no questions asked. Here's, you like, take my money kind of a thing. It was just like nuts.
That is incredible. And I also find, for me too, like speaking from stages where I get some of the best people, they're just like, no, I get you. I want to work with you. And I'm like, I didn't say anything profound.
Yeah, exactly. like, what did I say? I need to re-say that. It's like, no, just
no, it was probably just an energy thing. Nothing more, nothing less. But it's it feels so good when that happens. And so exciting. So I love that. That makes me happy that happened for you. One last question as we are diving into the past and the present, but how have your personal values influenced your brand?
I think that, like, everything. I want to say everything, because before I started, like when I was going, like I was still in a corporate world doing it 9 to 5. That's when I hired, it was a purpose coach, like, and that's all she just helps you find your purpose. And so that was kind of like the pivotal moment of like, what are my values? Like, what do I want in life? And like all the things, like, how do I want my life to look? And the values piece on that was like, what are my values? It's so weird. Like, you just don't actually put words to so much in your life. And so it's like sitting down and thinking, okay, like I really have like value freedom, and like, okay, starting a business made sense, more freedom, but like also just like support and, you know, like family and friends, and having that support was really valuable to me. So then taking those values, I've really just built my whole business around that. Like, I want the freedom, making sure like my schedule is not super packed. So I have that flexibility to go like visit family or take an afternoon off to just enjoy life. So just understanding my values, I think from the very beginning really helped me build that business. So it felt good. Just like the whole process felt good because it was being built on who I am, not how I think I should be doing it.
Yeah. Or the way we're all taught nowadays. And I know I've said this in other podcasts, and I know I say it a lot outside of these podcasts with all of you. I don't really believe in bro marketing. I think that it is detrimental to women. I believe if women had more money, we would have more economic power and the world would be a better, happier, kinder place, simply put. And so, you know, when we talk about our values and creating a business around value first, I mean, I think it was serendipitous that you had a purpose coach. I think that it's what is making you be so wonderful, and getting that in the hands of more people, more women who want to become business owners. And I know you help all people, but you know, I'm pro women over here. I'm about to start wearing red lipstick every day. I would have today, but I look like Christmas. I think that it's a beautiful thing that you do, Erin. And I'm really proud to even just have this conversation with you. So thank you. That is beautiful. Well, looking into the future with those beautiful values, what are your long-term goals for expanding your brand's impact?
You know, it's funny you asked this right after what we just talked about, because I think it's like, no, it's like the bro marketing thing. It's like so many things as business owners, or just like in our careers, we're looking at what our boss is doing, what our colleagues are doing, like everything. And so much like coming in, it's like one thing to market for another company, but when you're marketing for yourself and like putting yourself out there, it is just like all the emotions come up. All these like, help me, I don't know what I'm doing comes up. So it's like you look outside yourself. So I was seeing like, again, like you're saying, direct DM people and like all these little things that just felt so icky to me. I hate when people reach out to me in like an icky way.
An icky way.
It just, yes. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like, I get it constantly. I'm like, emails, I'm like, you don't even know my name. You're just using my business. Like do a little research first. But like there was so much of this, like, this is what you're supposed to do. Again, like post on social media like 3 times a day. And I'm not necessarily like against dancing on social media, but like I just wanted to do it in a way that felt like good to me.
Wanted to, not because you should, because you want to.
I want to do this, and especially to bring value to people. Like that was my biggest thing. So it's like a lot of the people I'm working out are coming from like very burned out places. I can't burn myself out. And I'm like, just really paying attention to what bring the most value to them was like so important. So like going forward, I'm coming like, okay, like a podcast. I have my podcast, and like, that's something really easy for me to do, like my energetically, but then also like, that's going to bring a lot of value versus like be dancing on like a reel and just like trying to figure out like what feels good to me, but then also what's going to resonate with my people and bring them value. And I think that's everything I'm doing, is just bringing them value.
I'm laughing for so many different reasons, and like what we're talking about isn't funny, but you know, it's like what brings you value. And like, where I have a girlfriend named Casey, she's going to be on the show soon, but she's also a business coach, and she has this concept of, you know, business owners should really be in what she refers to as their sweet spot to become a solo CEO. So you have what the people that you are going after need and what you need, and like in between that is the sweet spot. And so if DMing constantly isn't what you need and it's not going to fill your cup, like that can't be in that overlap. And I'm laughing because you will not catch me dancing on TikTok for business or Instagram, yet I am a dancer. And I find that really funny. Like, I go to dance practice every Sunday. We have shows. Like, but I will not. No. No. You're not going to see me doing the latest and being like, here's your branding tips. Like, that. No. You might catch me dancing on social media, on my personal social media with my son, because my son's also a dancer. But like, no.
Yeah.
That was my ick in the moment, Erin. You brought it up. You brought it out of me. But I I love that. What's the name of your podcast?
It's Rebel to Rise, where business meets human design. So it's going to be like kind of a bell. Like, I just want us to all rebel and just do what we want to do and stop being pigeonholed and just live unapologetically. So that's what my podcast is all about. Of course, bringing business strategy plus some of your human design to just make you your most authentic, like happy self.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. All right, everyone. After you listen to this, you know what you're listening to next. There you go. Happy to make that happen. So as we look into like, what are those value-driven things, looking at your podcast, looking at speaking on stages as different marketing tactics, how will your marketing strategy adapt to support your brand's growth here in the next few years?
So I guess for me, my strategy is definitely automate as much as I can, like the basics to make it easier on myself to like make sure I'm getting out there, but not spending all my time. Like, I think most of us don't exactly like the marketing side of it. So making sure that it just feels just not good for me, but like uses my energy well. So what I'm really focused on is doing a lot of like more of the passive stuff. So I'm branching out, like I'm trying to write an ebook, which is just like a really nice way to get my like what I'm all about into the world without me like constantly having to sell it, like pop it on Amazon or like find ways to really make it easy for people to find what I'm all about in a nice, concise way. And so finding kind of those different paths is what I'm like. No, looking back, I'm like, I like doing things differently, not in like a super rebellious way, but like, I don't want to do what everyone else is doing because I don't like blending in necessarily. I'm a Leo and
I'm an Aries, so say less.
Yes. So like, there's little things like that. So I'm like, I'm trying to figure out those ways. Like, again, like you'll never find me on TikTok because I think that's kind of like, that's just not how my personality is. And like, I want to be doing my branding of my business and growth in a way that feels natural, but then like a little different to catch people's attention and like draw them in like, oh, this is different. Maybe this, because I think there's a lot of people that like not being on social media. Like, what are other ways I could get myself out there without being like stretching myself so much where I'm losing track of like helping my clients? Because that's actually all I want to do.
Is help your clients. No,
Yeah.
I get it. It's so funny. Like you make that ebook. I naturally make lead magnets like people drink water. And it usually stems from helping clients. And I'm like, well, I don't want to repeat myself. So like, I'm just going to build this and people can have it for free. I'm just going to build this and people can have it for free. And if you go to my website, like the whole bottom half of the homepage is just freebies that were because I was coaching somebody or people kept asking the same question. And I never like really thought of it as marketing. I was like, I just don't like repeating myself.
Yeah.
And so that's how it stemmed from it. And marketing is literally all about repeating yourself. That's what it is. It's saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. And when somebody starts to hear you and you're sick of hearing it, oh, keep going. Do it over and over and over and over again. Like that. It's weird that I own a brand agency, but here we are. So, but it's not to minimize that. It's, like I like doing that for other people, not necessarily. No, I wouldn't say that I don't like it for myself. Everybody would sit here and call me a liar for that because I post like 3 times a day. But I created a system around it. So I'm actually very removed from it. And I don't know if you knew this, Erin, but before I owned this brand agency, this was actually a social media agency. And I thought I would be really good at that because I always headed up sales and marketing teams. And COVID happened. I didn't have much of a choice. It was this or wait on hold for unemployment for God knows how long. So I was like, I'm good at sales. I'm good at marketing. I went to art school. Like, let's do this. And turns out I hated it. I hated it. And the reason I hated it was because nobody had their brand done. Like, and so I was always doing everybody's brand and I found I enjoyed that piece of it. But when you don't really know your purpose, bringing it back to that, if you don't really know what you're supposed to go out there and do and like how you're supposed to do it, it actually makes it hard for those who help you. So, it was like, as a business owner, I almost feel like you have to some degree, understand your purpose. And if you don't, please go hire Erin. Understand your purpose, because the folks who are doing your social media are helping you get all those things done. They need to be led in a direction that's going to see your dream come true. And as a social media agency, I had to like keep taking it backwards. And I made a system that worked for me, which was brand first. And I do some people's social media, but it's at the very tail end after I've built the things that need to be built. But if you're not ready for those things to be built, you need to go see Erin. Then you need to see me. And then we'll get to your social media. But it's a process. And a lot of it comes down to understanding who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a really beautiful thing. All right. We've got time for my favorite last two questions.
Oh boy. Okay.
Are you
Bring
ready?
'em. Yes.
He's like, I don't know, wild one. What does a day of living a luxurious life look like for you?
Ooh, I love this question because it's definitely like I do a morning visualization every day and like this pops into it. Like keeping focused where I'm like, I want. But for me, it's just having like space to enjoy life. Like I do love what I'm doing, but like luxurious life to me is like waking up, not feeling like pressured to just like immediately get going with my day. So like just a slow breakfast, maybe reading and like a little walk or something to start my day. And then just working with clients, obviously, that I love. It's fun. But I think for me, it's being like having that freedom to just live life how I want to. So like planning my day like that, or being able to go on that vacation and have that just freedom to be really successful at what I do and love what I do, but still have time to enjoy life outside of work and just, I don't know, I think just follow whatever excites me. I think that's most luxurious to me is like, if today I want to do this, I have the power to do it, just not financially, but just like the space and just the ability to, because I've created my business in a way that allows me to not be chained to a desk all the time. And I think that was the biggest drive for me when I started my business. And that's just kind of what I keep focusing on and fine tuning. And just, if something comes up, I want to go on a trip next week, I want to make it happen. That's luxury to me.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Before I ask the last question, because I know that you live in California, and I too live on the West Coast. Did you ever catch yourself when you worked at a desk job staring out the window and wishing you could be outside instead because it was nice?
That's why I quit my job. But I think what sucked is they stuck me in front of giant ass windows. And so like all I saw was the like cars driving by and life passing me by.
Just felt like me and you might have that in common.
Was like and constant like every lunch break I'm out there for like a solid hour just walking around because I just needed to get out.
I created this thing when one of my jobs, I was a director of growth and connection. And I was like, I can't do this, y'all. Like it was, and I had no windows. So it was even 20 times worse. And I remember I was like, everybody, our check-in meetings, one-on-one meetings, there's a park over there with a fountain. We're going to go for a walk.
Yeah.
Like no notebooks. We're going for a walk. Like,
yes.
I couldn't take it. Oh my goodness. I love it. So last one, best one. In one word, Erin, uno. What is your primary motivation in business?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Oh boy. I want to say joy.
Why?
Yeah, I want to say joy because I think partly being a generator, like my whole thing is like making sure I have joy to have endless energy. But I think to me, the more joy I have, the more joy I could bring to others and show them to have joy. And like you were saying in the beginning, like the more people that are just joyful in the world, imagine what the world would be like if we were just like actually happy. Like not questioning yourself or just living each day like with a little more joy. And I think the more joy I could live and I could share with people and spread with my business, the world will be a better place.
The world needs a lot more joy.
Yeah.
A lot more joy. And gosh, I could spend another 30 minutes just talking on that topic. But we want this to be evergreen. So we're not going to bring up today's topics. But Um, Thank you, everyone, for listening. Erin, thank you so much for being here and just talking about purpose, talking about joy. They're such beautiful things that we all need to tap into a little bit more. And you giving 30 minutes of people being able to think about what purpose and joy means for them, it's going to change somebody's day. It really is. So for those of you who are listening, take a beat after this if you can, when you're not in motion, and maybe journal on what does purpose and joy look like for you? Because you can't build a beautiful brand, no matter if you have somebody like me who can color for you, or you have someone like Erin who can help you discover your purpose. You can't build those things unless you also have joy behind those things, and they fill your cup. So Erin, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. Thank you to everybody who tuned in, and we'll add some of the fun things that we shared in the show notes, as well as whatever cool quiz I have going on this world. It's probably the brand litmus test, but if it's not, it means something better came along. All right, y'all, have a beautiful day, and we will chat with you all soon. Bye-bye.